Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dan with Flawedoffroad. I know I've been kind of slacking about getting some videos out lately, so what I want to do here is just show you what I slapped together for an onboard air system on the Jeep so that I can go on my wheeling trip at the beginning of July at Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch. So let's take a look at it. So there's lots of other stuff that I've gotten done on the Jeep since the last update, and I will go over a bunch of that hopefully in the next video. I'm just on such a time crunch, I just haven't had time to really film or edit or do anything. Here's the compressor I'm using. Now this is this plate to bolt it on where the air conditioner would go. Eventually I'm gonna do a belt drive onboard air, and that's why I chose this location. I realize this thing's probably not going to hold up too well to the underhood heat, but it literally has to last one trip for me. And this way my hose and like everything's in this location already. And this little thing pumps up my tank pretty quick, which for the tank, I ended up buying this little half-gallon air tank. So I ended up getting it wedged in under the seat and mounted down, and I had to really fight with all these fittings to get everything how I wanted, but that air hose comes in through this floor drain grommet in the back of there. This one goes out to my rear locker and to this valve. So about the only thing I have left to do is wire this up to my locker switch. This one's here so I can air up tires. And then I've got a safety valve there, which I think is 125. Got the gauge. And then on the back of this, which I'm not gonna be able to get the camera to show it, I've got a 90-120 pressure switch, so it'll kick on and off at those pressures. I don't have that wired in yet. I don't think I really have time to get that done before the trip, so I'm just gonna basically turn it on and off manually. I don't need a ton of air while the locker's running because it's an aux locker and it just kind of stays locked. It doesn't spring back, so hopefully I will be fine with that. So yeah, I realized that half-gallon air tank really isn't gonna do a lot in terms of like helping air up the tires. I mean, it'll make the first one a little bit faster and that's about it. But in the future, this tube right here goes all the way across and it's sealed, and I've really been thinking about welding this thing shut and putting a little drain in it and some air ports and actually turning it into additional air tank space. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's take a look down here at the locker. All right, so back here, this is my Dana 60 and the aux locker, and this is how I ended up running this hose. I really would like to get this brake line and this hose clipped down a little better. It's actually just kind of sitting there right now. But it was kind of cool how I ended up, the extended brake line that I bought had all these little clips on it, probably for some accessory on that. Came off like a 1990 Dodge W150 or something, but the airline was able to clip perfectly in all those. And then it runs up here, and I actually ran it into this little channel right here because that channel is actually where this floor drain drains out of. So I was able to run it through there and put a little isolator on it. So everything should be good to go. I just gotta get my switches and stuff wired up, which you can see right there. They're not even pushed in fully. Yeah, whoops. So like I said, for now, the compressor one, if I have time, I'm gonna have to get a relay and stuff to do this how I want it. So I may just turn it on and off manually for now, but I do need to get this locker switch wired up. But yeah, again, I had to put this little 90 here because the little air intake filter thing was running into my radiator hose. And then this thing's mounted down on these rubber isolators, so when I start the engine, this thing's actually very stable. It's not shaking around or anything. But I don't know with like the violence of wheeling how well it's gonna stay on these rubber things, so I might just put like some kind of a strap around the whole bracket and the compressor just to make sure that it doesn't get jarred loose and knock off of there. If I do have time to get that relay, I will put it up here next to this one. This compressor literally just has this kind of a hookup and a switch on it. Anyway, this thing's not overly loud. We'll go ahead and flip it on and fill it up and I'll show you. So unfortunately, it won't shut itself off, and if I leave it running, it'll end up blowing the pop off down here. It doesn't take overly long to get this thing filled up either. Probably would run faster if I had the engine running on the Jeep. See, we're at 80 pounds right there. You can kind of hear the compressor start getting more high pitched. Let's see if I can stop it right before it hits the pop off. So I guess the biggest thing is I just gotta hope it doesn't leak down really fast where I have to keep getting out and turning it on and stuff. I don't hear any leaks, so it should be good to go. And for those of you that are wondering, there's a pretty good clearance between the top of the tank and the seat, and I even had someone stand on the seat, and it does come down a little bit, but it wasn't running into the tank or anything. So this whole kit was probably 60 or 70 bucks, and it came with the tank, the gauge, a couple of air fittings, and the 9120 switch. I had to buy the safety valve separate. This came with my locker. These I had on hand, but it's really easy to slap this stuff together. So like I said, in the future, I'm gonna convert this to belt drive. So I'm probably gonna use a York 210 compressor. Haven't found one yet, but this was just kind of to give people an idea. It's pretty simple to slap one of these systems together. It's more annoying than anything just running the wires and running the airlines. And I hope you stick around to see me finish this thing up and take it down to Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch for the adequate adventure. That's a trip me and my buddies have. I don't even get a shakedown run. I'm just taking it down to S'more, and we're gonna beat the shit out of it and hope it doesn't break. And if it does, we'll try to fix it. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, like the video. See you next time.